It's hard to be really into a broadcast when it's a game like that that's pretty bad. I think also this is more of a baseball thing.
Yeah.
I think, and hockey, you're so used to your hometown broadcast, which you get. Every hometown broadcast is a bit of a homer broadcast. So when you go to a national game, it's not the broadcasters you're used to. They're more down the middle, and that game wasn't exciting.
No, it wasn't.
The first one.
Wayno was okay, though.
I don't know about that.
Oh. He was pretty good.
Trying to be nice. I don't know about
He
that.
was good enough to delete his Twitter account. Is that true? Did you look that up, by the way?
I did see that. And I looked
I
for
couldn't
his
find
Twitter.
it, so I assume he did. Which is sad, because
It
he's
is
been on
kinda
Twitter a long time, through good and bad.
Wayno, like, you're a Hall of Famer, basically. Like, you can't let that, don't get down, man. Like, it is what it is.
That's Cardinals Hall of Fame.
Yeah. That's about it. That's about right. Cardinals Hall of Famer, not a Hall of Famer. That's okay. You can correct me. Damn right.
Will he actually accept the Cardinals Hall of Fame nomination?
Not now. It is sad, though. You got, like, he's that wound up that you delete Twitter.
It's very sad, honestly.
Why can't you just not
Look at it.
look at it?
Now people are talking about it because you did that. Just leave it alone and don't
agree.
look at it.
Or take it off your phone. You can delete the app
Yes.
from your phone, and then it
Let it
basically
go.
takes away your ability to all the time check it.
Let it sit in the ether. Who cares?
There are guys that say, I don't look at social media, and I totally believe them. There are other guys that say, yeah, I don't follow any of that stuff. And you think, you probably know what's being said on there.
Yeah.
One way or another.
I agree. I know. So
But I do think you just poured gas on the fire by deleting the Twitter account.
I know.
He was not good.
He wasn't good.
And he said afterwards, that one's on me. We lost the game because of me.
Yeah, he did say that. Do we have a clip of that, by the way, Cole? Any clips of Wayno what he said afterwards?
Not right now.
Okay. Well, sorry about that.
Well, no, that was
My bad.
That was on me. I'm pulling up.
Well, national games, you don't have the post game
Yeah. No, it's all good.
Oh, thank God.
from
Thank you,
Valley and
brother.
whatnot.
Yeah, that's right.
I just got bailed out.
What?
Oh, because I was unprepared for that, but then you just made a great point.
Well, Solly didn't travel to London or what?
Was Ali not going to London? Huh?
Yeah.
Don't you think KMOX had it?
I don't know. I'll find out.
Okay.
But
Because he did blame it on himself, and he was pretty thorough about it.
did you hear what he said, though? He said,
What'd he
like,
say?
we came here to make Cardinals fans, and now people aren't going to be Cardinals fans because of me. That was kind of
I
depressing.
know. You're all right, man. You know? It's really getting to him, I think. I don't know.
I care less about creating Cardinal fans abroad than about getting closer to 500.
No
No,
doubt.
honestly.
No doubt.
If
dude.
I was being honest about it.
Do you think anybody watched that game and is like, you know what, I'm really into this? I bet you do have some fans, you know, but that's a long trip.
No, it's good
a
for
long
baseball.
trip.
There's no question.
Yeah.
It's good for baseball. It's good for every franchise that participates in it. But they're going through a tough stretch. They did win yesterday. That was good. It's also kind of cool to see a game in the morning and then the rest of the day is yours.
Kind of like that.
Kind of cool.
Kind of like that, man. I like those day games. I do. I do.
I mean, to cover them, it's not easy.
Yeah, but you're done by 9. You know, get home and
I know, but
see Tyler.
To get players a day game after a night game, not in this case, but generally speaking, they come in a little later. It's more of a crunch to get everything done.
So
Still do it.
He had a great time at the over there in what was it? What do they call the Rascals? He had such a good time to where he fell asleep during the baseball game. But you had a good time with Tyler, right?
Why are you mocking that?
No, because he
Yeah,
was.
why are you?
Because you were.
First of all,
no.
it's the Grizzlies.
Grizzlies.
There used to
he
be
was
the River
mocking
City
you.
Rascals.
You intentionally said their
You're
name
right.
wrong.
No,
No,
I
he didn't know.
I
There,
forgot.
there used to be two teams.
Okay, let me
He
just
mocked
say
you
this.
first.
We went to the Gateway Grizzlies game on Saturday night, and it was wonderful, and it's fun, and it's all family oriented. The great thing about every minor league ballpark that's been built in recent history is that they have sight lines where you can watch your kids no matter where they go in the ballpark, which is part of the reason they build it in the way they do, so that your kids can go. They have a little playground there. They have things where some of the players are signing. It was great. And, yeah, it's independent, single-A ball, whatever. But a lot of those kids are from St. Louis that you're watching, and every kid gets an autograph or can get a ball, or everyone had a ball.
It's a cool
I think
stadium.
it's a great thing. And it's pretty close, and there's great parking, and the food is – I had steak nachos.
Oh, dang.
No, I'm just saying it was really –
Steak
It
nachos?
was really good.
How many people there?
I'm going to say 1,600.
It's not bad.
Ain't bad.
So there was a time where that for the year they they accumulated over 200,000 fans. Now it's gone down since then, and it's a battle for every minor league team, especially independent. But it was fun. I recommend it. I mean, Tyler he's a baseball guy, and he had a blast. Everything's pretty. They don't gouge you. Everything is pretty reasonably priced. So it's a great time.
I like that.
I did take
stadium.
a picture of my wife, who fell asleep during it, and that's you had to make that the headline story.
That's funny.
Which I'm not taking shots at the Gateway Grizzlies.
Hey, I've been there too,
it was
girl.
great.
Don't worry about it. I've fallen asleep at concerts before.
People falling asleep during this show.
I know.
Hosts
Oh yeah.
and listeners.
What's the Wayno Twitter biz? I must have missed that. Did he delete it because he's getting chirped too hard, and it's easier to do that than block Cardinal Nation? Sharon. No, but that's not the deleting it again. It just like brings more attention to it. You could just kind of like take it off your phone, like Charlie said.
Did he mention that though, or did somebody basically say, "Hey, he deactivated it," and then it became a social media thing?
Yeah, people just like they went to his account probably to chirp, and they noticed it wasn't there, and then they screenshotted it and it's posted everywhere. A lot of people have done that. They went right there to chirp, right after that game, obviously. And you're going to get chirped for that. You're going to get chirped. This way it goes. We all went through it.
Well, it wasn't one game though. Let's be honest.
No doubt. But that really got to him, I guess. Even listening to him sounding. If we don't have that sound at all.
No, there was nothing.
Okay. He was down and out, man. And I kind of felt bad for him. He's going to be fine, but I kind of felt bad for him.
The farewell party for him is not going well to this point.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Price saw what Albert did. It's like how unbelievable that was. They all don't go that way. You know what I mean?
And here's the other thing I thought it was interesting to bring up. I'm curious to get Charlie's take. The whole narrative, and yes, Yachty was really important to this ball club for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
But to blame the pitching woes that they don't have Yachty anymore, I'm just not so sure that the blame is placed properly there. I mean, last year, Yachty didn't catch a whole lot. He missed stretches of time. So they had, and granted, they have some new faces now, but you would think that they had enough time to sort of transition away, and they were okay last year. So I don't know if it's because Yachty's not there. I think too much emphasis. Yes, that kills not having a guy who was outside of his defense, which was great. There was no one better at handling pitchers than Yachty. Nobody. But he wasn't there a lot last year behind the plate. So I don't think you can put everything on that, though. I always say this, if you're looking for reasons, you can go A, B, C. I don't know if it's that simple.
Yeah.
I think there's something to that. I wouldn't say it's the main reason at all, but I do think when you have arguably the best defensive catcher in baseball for 20 years, you are going to have a drop-off. And I do think there's just something about that stability, and I'm not even saying leadership, but just of Yachty being there for 2 decades. I think, look, the reason Yachty was so valuable, a lot of that was intangibles. Now, some of those intangibles dripped onto the field, but he's not going to make the Baseball Hall of Fame for his offense. He became a pretty decent offensive player. His defensive numbers are fantastic, but it's also a stat where it's hard to peg why a staff's team ERA is basically a half run lower for the entirety of the time that he was there versus the backup catcher. The stat that's been going around social media recently, where they basically last year said how many stolen base attempts in baseball. The Cardinals had the fewest attempts against. I mean, by far. Nobody ran on Yachty. And that's also something that's hard to quantify because if nobody's trying to steal second or third, nobody's being aggressive, they're not taking more aggressive secondary leads, they're not going first to third, right, on a single as much, they're not going first to home on a double as much. It's hard to quantify a lot of Yachty's value. Now, I do think this greater conversation about Wayno, and Cam, you brought this up. Last year, we could have had this same conversation about Yachty that we're having about Wayno. Why didn't we? The team was winning, and it was all about Albert.
Damn right.
Albert's 700, let's be real, took over the entire season, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
But if Albert had not come back, or remember at the All-Star break, and then after the fact we hear Albert was thinking about maybe walking away because he was so bad, basically until that home run derby, and in the second half he goes crazy. Look, if that was not the story of 2022, we'd have been talking about Yachty only playing 78 games and having a 52 OPS plus. Essentially, you are half of league average offensively. That would have been a huge story. Now it's a huge story this year because the Cardinals are bad. Waino is very bad. Cardinals are very bad, let's be honest. And they're not winning, and Albert is not here to have the fun of 700 and $3.3 million to cover up all of the blemishes.
Yep.
And as someone said on this show, you take the best offensive performer in baseball for the second half last year and extract him from your lineup and bring in Contreras. Is that enough to offset that?
Yeah.
I was always concerned that you're putting a lot of stock in these young guys to pick up the slack, and I don't think it's been consistent enough. But going back to Yachty, to me, forget throwing runners out, which he was great at. No one handles a pitching staff better than Yachty. Nobody. And I think, to me, even in his later years where he wasn't quite as agile behind the plate, having that made up for so many other weaknesses that a pitching staff might have. No one was better. No one could impact the game in terms of the way he handled pitchers than Yachty. And I think that's his greatest strength. And it's hard, as you say, to quantify that with a stat.
Get him in, by the way, 855-282-8255. What's that we're going to say, Charlie?
Oh, so I think, look, I don't want anybody to be mean on Twitter to anybody, but you know that's part of the business. When you're a professional athlete, you're making a ton of money, and you're on the decline. And I just think what I said about Yachty, again, Yachty was not good last year, and he was banged up. But a lot of things covered that up. It's very difficult to massage the ending of a legacy or Hall of Fame player that's clearly on the decline with the fan base. You don't want to disrespect him. But let's be real about Adam Wainwright. Like, I was looking this up because I was curious. I mean, I'll ask you guys this question. Is Adam Wainwright still in the rotation if his name isn't Adam Wainwright? Because if his name is Steven Matz, he's in the bullpen. And look, Steven Matz got pulled from the rotation after, 10 starts. I'll find the exact splits here. After 10 starts, and his ERA was 5.72. He was 0-6, but whatever. Just ERA, 5.72, 10 starts. He gets pulled from the rotation. Adam Wainwright right now is posting a 6.56 ERA, essentially almost a run larger in 9 starts. And that's where, look, the fans are complaining because the team is losing. If the team was 500, they wouldn't be going after Waino like this. But I have to say, I think I'm pretty fair. And at this point, it does feel like if his name wasn't Adam Wainwright, he wouldn't be in the rotation. And it sure seems like they really want him to get 200 wins. Yeah. And look, with a fan base that already wanted postseason success, they were tired of first-round exits, and then the team is bad in the regular season, and they see a guy who's coming back. And we all love Adam Wainwright, but he is not helping you win. He's hurting you right now. And it's not one game. We're talking a 6.5 ERA through 9 starts.
I know.
And they said early on, Waino got a late start, World Baseball Classic injury. So 9 starts in, he got a late start. So they were saying it was a work in progress to get Waino back to where he needs to be in terms of an every, 5th day starter, and we haven't seen that progress. Now, last year was a good year for Waino. 3.71 ERA, 11-12 record. Like, those are numbers that put you in the rotation. So I don't think this year, by any stretch, was a gift to Adam Wainwright. He was a guy who had some really good moments last year and overall was solid. But he hasn't looked like Waino this year.
It starts with his curveball, too. That was the biggest thing. Like, between the end of last season and this season, his curveball is easier timed with the hitters. They've been hitting the ball a lot better with that. And for somebody to have a curveball that good for 15 years and full hitters, it's unbelievable that he did it for that long, but it's not as effective as it was his first however many years.
With Waino, first of all, he hadn't been able to land it, I think, in his last few starts. It was up and guys were teeing off. But he said this all along. He needs to be able to locate his fastball to get guys off the curveball. And it's not about velocity. I mean, granted, he always says, I've talked to him about this. Well, Waino doesn't throw 94 anymore. He never threw 94. I mean, generally speaking. He said, if I can go at 89 and locate it, that's good enough to keep guys off my curve.
Was he at 89?
No, he was at like 86 from the
So you don't think that 3 miles an hour changes is a drastic difference?
I'm saying the difference is if he can't spot his fastball and get guys off the curveball, then it looks like his curveball isn't as effective. And I'm saying it's really another pitch, the fastball, that makes him more vulnerable on his bread and butter, which is the curveball.
Remember the tweet he had like a couple months ago? He goes, looking forward to proving every last one of you underneath this wrong. Thanks for the motivation. There's a balance. Read the comments and get depressed, or read the comments and put the war paint on. See you soon. Yeah, people are going right to that Twitter account after that blow up, for sure.
And the truth is, like,
for sure,
people have been writing Waino off for years. I mean, he's had injuries, and I remember on TMA it was like, they're gonna write him off. Oh, he's done. He's just a legacy guy. And then he won 17 games or whatever it was, and he was good last year too. Now you get to be a certain age, you run out of gas in the tank, and maybe that's what he's doing now. But I mean, it's easy to root for the guy because he's been written off a few times in his career.
Yeah.
I remember he said he was at a Blues game, and one of the fans said to him, "We love you here. We hope you come back." This is in the off season, and he's like, "Great, just not as a pitcher. Come back as a coach." So he's dealt with this before.
Yeah, man.
But this year looks like it's a different animal.
Well, what'd Sharon say to him? Sharon probably started this whole snowball effect. She rattled him so bad at Aldi's. Whew.
Damn you,
it's all
Sharon.
girl, it's your fault.
At Schnucks. I think it was Schnucks.
Oh, it's Schnucks.
It was at the Crestwood
yeah, it was.
location. Grand reopening
You're dang right.
on Watson
She's
Road.
getting 2% back on every purchase. Nobody cares about the fifth starter on the last place team. Let's talk about the Hayes Sanheim coming to the Blues. Gino, well, it hasn't happened yet. I mean, it's in motion, but one guy could stop that, and that's Torrey Krug. So they're getting another team involved. But that Sanheim's about 6'3". He's a big defenseman. He's pretty damn good. Tony DeAngelo's name was mixed in there too. He's a pretty good defenseman. He's got some baggage.
Little head case.
He got some baggage, and the fans are going to certainly pull up some of his tweets and stuff like that.
You want some baggage?
I kind of do too, Jimmy. Let's go. Spice it up a bit. Let's go. Damn it. Let's make this deal happen. Make something happen. And Kevin Hayes is a big center. His brother passed away. Maybe his brother was on missing curfew. Played in the NHL a long time.
Jimmy,
yeah. Passed away a couple years ago. But Kevin's a damn good player. He's supposed to be hilarious. A lot of people like him. Like, he's a cool guy. The fans will love him. He's big. He's mean. He's a center. You kind of need that. Torrey Krug, let's make this happen, baby. You don't want to go to Philly under John Tortorella? Come on now. No, so we'll see.
So
what
you're
happens.
telling me there is a downside when you put a no trade clause in there?
A little bit.
Might be a downside.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
He earned that.
No, damn right.
I'm not mad at him.
Yeah,
Any
damn
fan
right he
who's
did.
mad at him, to me, you're pointing the finger at the wrong person.
100%.
He earned that no trade, and you know what? If you move, I don't even know, does he have kids and all that? I think he does.
Probably, yes.
If you want to move your whole family, you sign a long-term contract. You want to live there.
Yeah, dude.
You want to pick a spot that's a good place to live for you, your wife, your family. And then all of a sudden, 2-3 years in,
I know.
they want to move you. Sorry.
It's a business.
Damn right it's a business.
Charlie, it's a business.
Yep.
Somebody posted a tweet of him with a picture of him saying, "Come back, Torrey," and he liked it.
Really?
So I don't know.
Oh,
that doesn't.
Boston?
Yeah, I don't see him going back there. But I don't know. He
don't know
might
how
want to
much
get
capital
out.
they got.
I don't know how bad he
Someone
wants
said
to
he
stay
took
here.
all the blue stuff off his Instagram or
Oh,
whatever.
see,
I don't know.
Well, it's a
That's a real thing, though. If they
Yeah.
do that, then they're out.
Well, anytime they're trying to get rid of you, it's not fun. When you know a team that signed you doesn't want you anymore, they're like, okay, so it's tough on them. But on the other hand, you know what? Like, hopefully we can make this thing happen. You got to shake things up. If they don't want you here, then it's tough to want to be here too. So maybe you could
It's
sign off on
difficult.
something. It is.
But you'll end up going somewhere where someone wants you, and that changes the whole dynamic.
Absolutely.
It's worse than being a player that no one wants you.
I know.
You get
Yeah,
DFA'd,
exactly.
and no one claims you.
And you're making $6 million in the minors or something. You're grinding on the bus. You're paying for all the guys' tabs because they're not making that much money. Although they're making better money than minor leagues in baseball, but I don't know. The other problem is Wainwright is making $17.5, and we knew that would hold the Cardinals back on getting desperate starting pitching help. 636, put a name down. He's making some coin.
Oh, they're going to get.
Making some
They're going to
time.
get starting pitching help. Will it be a little too little, a little too late? Remains to be seen. But they're going to get.
You want them to at this point? I want them to trade away the starting pitchers they have.
Oh, they're going to have to get starting pitching for next year as part of. I mean, to me,
That's a big ask at the trade deadline.
To me, I think they're going to look for guys that can possibly help them now, shed guys that can't, or that won't be around if they let it linger, while trying to beef it up now. Maybe help them now, but also for next year. I mean, you got to do all these deals. You're still short for next year. You got to work on that too.
You notice Cole hasn't talked in a while. What's up, buddy? You good back there? You working?
I'm editing audio.
Oh, cool. I'm just asking.
Seth has been
all good.
Seth has been very eager to talk, and
right.
I've been
it
listening.
does seem
I'm
like
just asking.
We walked in together and we told each other we're going to swap today.
Is that what it is?
I'm talking. and
See
then
how much they were hanging out
Cole's-
last night.
Cole's
I'm
gonna
the
be
captain now.
That's exactly
Cole, you
what
sit back there and edit. No, it's all good, man. I'm just wondering. I'm just asking. A little
put-
shout out to Jordan Hicks. Little shout out to Jordan Hicks.
hiccup.
He had, he was puking, had a stomach bug. He goes out there, he throws some heat, does his job. Jordan Hicks, little shout out.
And he had 3 days in a row with saves.
Yeah. You need
And
me?
his
I'm
stuff-
going, baby.
And he's throwing strikes.
Little shout out to him. Little shout out. No big deal. And when you go on those trips like that, man, you got so many people, the wives are hanging out with the kids before they get on the charter. Everybody's hanging out. You go and get sick. You know what I mean?
Some great fireballs tonight.
You're going to get sick.
Yeah, bro.
You're going to get sick. You are. I bet you a lot of guys came back feeling like crap.
Because of all the kids being around.
Well, just because that's a long flight. You got different people on there that are hanging out. So many, kid interaction with the wives. Kids weren't on there, I don't think, but you're going to get sick. It's always the case.
Kids go on the charter.
Did they go on a charter?
I don't know, but in past experience, they just get a much bigger plane.
Let's see here. Somebody, Wombat throws out top 10 prospects, MLB pipelines. Number 1, Jackson Holiday. Number 2, who do you think? Good player.
De La Cruz.
Yeah, dang right. Setty boy's on his game today, baby. Yeah, dang right.
We're talking sports. That's why.
Sports, baby. Let's see.
I learned comedy after this weekend.
Yeah, you
a little bit.
How was that show, by the way?
It was awesome.
Bert.
It was really funny. It was the fully loaded comedy festival, if I can say it. It was Bert Kreischer, Jay Farrow, Luis Gomez, Shane Torres. Awesome
It's a
group.
good lineup right
Awesome
there.
group. None of them were good enough, or not good enough, but none of them were appropriate enough for radio.
Like
any of the jokes, they were all pretty
Even for this
profanity
show,
laced
eh?
and kind of vulgar. But
I thought you were just rattling off the Kraken's third line.
What is it?
they're good. I didn't know all of them, but usually when I told somebody that, they were like, "What? You don't know this guy?" But they were all really funny. It was a good show, man. It was
blowing up.
packed at Enterprise. It was jam packed. Even the top bowl.
A lot of dudes there. Mixture of girls and guys. I'm curious.
Yeah, no, it was probably 50-50, maybe like 60-40. But it was a good crowd. The energy was good, and the entire floor was just filled with seats. And it was, if you were there, you had a good time. It was, and
he's
the energy
fine.
was good. It was funny because they were all like, "This is the best crowd that we've had on this tour and everything."
Well, they
I
probably
do
always
think
say that.
they do. And even Bert said, "You guys should know." But yeah, no, he did say he did go longer than when he was supposed to stop. He probably went like another 15 minutes. 20 minutes in his act because he was like, screwed, it's a Saturday night.
No
He's
shirt
like,
on,
He's like,
drinking
you
beer."
guys have been awesome.
Yeah.
Chugged a 32-ounce plastic cup full of beer.
Burping.
And then took his shirt off and then was burping for the next 5 minutes. He sounded like Rick Sanchez.
Sound like me sometimes.
Is he doing multiple shows per day?
I don't think so.
It looked like they were in Indiana. I swear I looked on social media
because-
that day he was in Indiana. Because that tour, the Fully Loaded, he has different folks that travel with him for different cities.
It is almost every day. So they got a show in Huntsville tomorrow. Or I'm sorry, this is the month of July. I guess it skipped forward. So I guess they're on a little break.
So where was he at Friday?
He was I have no idea, to be honest.
If you look at their schedule, man, they go hard.
But they're almost every day.
Yeah, they go probably 4 or 5 times a week, I feel like. It's crazy, man. Like baseball players doing that same act, man. I guess it's the same act. Cam, I can't believe Daddy Padre broke the Kevin Hayes trade. Did he?
He's been texting me all weekend.
Oh, you know what I did with him I think it was Friday night when this kind of all went down. I got a notification from him. Oh, no, he sent me a text that said, what the hell was that, Daddy Padre? Something on Twitter, Charlie, where it was you go into a group chat. Like a group chat, and he set it up. It's called, I don't know what that, it's called Happening Now, the St. Louis Blues Fueled by Philly Waiting Room, Twitter Waiting Room. And you get on there, and you talk to like 70 people. It's really weird. It was kind of fun. He said, hey, Cam's coming on, and a bunch of people listen to the radio show, a podcast, they're all asking questions. It's pretty cool. It's called Twitter Media. Just popped up, and I press it. Everybody just, because it goes on your Twitter, so you know I'm on there. So everybody that follows me is like, oh, I want to say something to him. Had a couple psychos on there that asked me some stupid-ass questions that text in here that say goofy things, and I had to let them know, be funny, and then I'll read your text. But if you're not funny, I'm not going to read it. That's all. No big deal. You know who I'm talking about listening out there. You know who I'm talking about.
Twitter, so it's not verbal, it's verbal. All text?
No, it's verbal. I'm talking to all these guys. 70 people joined. And I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? I'm like, no idea.
Can you monetize that?
I don't know.
What is it, Twitter Spaces?
Yes. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like, what's up?
And you were a speaker?
Yeah, everybody could talk.
To monetize.
Like, just let people talk at once.
Opportunity to talk. What? Say it again.
Yes, you. Wow, I'm surprised you didn't join. You're probably doing radio somewhere. You know?
Yeah, I had a hit in Sheboygan, Wisconsin that I had to do.
Oh, yeah?
Sheboygan.
Yeah, we were breaking down the Milwaukee Brewers, a AAA affiliate.
Yes, that's cool. That's cool.
By the way,
put that on your YouTube, Charlie.
with Torrey Krug.
Yeah.
If anybody thinks it's going to be too awkward to keep him around, just remember, Vladimir Tarasenko was here for 2 more seasons.
No doubt, dude.
So Doug Armstrong's not going to move him just because he deactivated his. What did he do? Take the Blues off his Instagram or whatever? I don't even know. Did that happen?
I don't know. I haven't verified that.
I think it did.
Oh, yeah, you brought it up. Okay, I believe
I didn't verify, but it looked legit.
I know. Yeah, no, don't forget it. Torrey Krug goes out there and plays a couple good games. Like, you got to go play. It's business. You got work to do. You still put yourself in this jam too. You have no trade clause. You earned that, but now you're in a weird spot. But the best thing to do is what? Go out there and play well.
And make a lot of money doing it.
Or
no matter where you are.
Or you sign off on a team that you want to go to. Get this thing in motion. But I don't blame you. You know, I go to gosh dang Philly. You know, East from Philly, lovely city. I'd like to play for the Flyers, but they're pretty good. But you're gonna go play for the crappy ass Flyers, and they're in a rebuilding stage under John Tortorella. Ooh, when you're 32, I don't know. You know, I don't know. But anyway,
I think I could play for him. I think we get along.
I know I would. I have interviewed so many guys that love him.
There are a lot of guys that do love playing for him.
They love him, especially the tough guys. They all love him. It's easy. I know what you want from me. I know what you want. I'm going to go out there and do it. He yells at the people that are lazy and flamingo and don't go into the corners. That's who he gets.
He's not sensitive.
Man. I like Torts, dude. We're trying to get him on, but I don't blame him for not doing it. Let's see. It was at Whole Foods, and I think I did start it. Not proud of that. Didn't mean to, but just spoke the truth. Didn't know my former favorite player was such a man baby. Oh, well, Sharon.
Oh, no. Wait, so I can't remember. What did she say to him?
She was just...
What, in the produce aisle?
Yeah.
And she's like...
The team's better without you?
Don't be rude.
No, I know what she was trying to do, and this happens to everybody, but she was just like... She's like, hey, hope you get better. Good thing the team's doing well. Like it is. Good thing the team's doing well without you. Good thing they're doing okay. And I guess that rattled him, and she blocked her. I mean, that's petty.
Him? Dude, there's no way that
Wait.
she...
Wait. Let me analyze this.
He blocked her. That's right.
She spoke to him in the market.
Yeah.
And basically said they're better with that. Or did she not say that?
She didn't mean for it to... She didn't mean to say that. She was just trying to be like, hey, they're doing good thing. They're doing good without you, or something
And then
like that.
he went back and found her on Twitter
And delete, and yes, and
based
blocked her.
on, like,
No, I guarantee you he saw a tweet. He didn't say, hey, what's your name?
Yeah.
What's your Twitter handle?
That makes
Okay, I'm
sense
going
to
to
me.
block you.
I don't know.
I can't
text
wait.
in.
I can't wait to get home so I could look up the lady from the market. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, people are crazy too. I mean,
He has so many followers.
I know. I don't know. That's what she said. Maybe I'm not remembering it correctly, but I thought that's what.
And
it
here's
was.
the other thing too. I said this in a tweet like a week ago. Like,
Started everything.
if you want to criticize a player or the team, or you're not happy with performance, do it. I just hate the name calling and the association that there's some sort of character flaw that comes along with a guy who's either hurt a lot or isn't performing the way they normally do. It doesn't mean that they're awful human beings or they don't care.
No doubt.
No, but sometimes people think because a guy lost it, they don't care, or they're human garbage or what. I just hate all that stuff.
Well, what grown adults like? I'm gonna Twitter message this baseball player. I'm gonna DM him and tell him how much I don't like him.
Oh, a lot of
Ooh,
people.
shot
I
at
think it's
Sharon?
so-
Was that a shot at Share Dog? Did she
It
DM?
was at Whole Foods though.
You've been
didn't-
DMing
did she-
Wayno, Sharon?
Are you new to social media?
No, I'm just saying that's stupid. Like I know that people do
They had
that, but I
some
think
guy-
like that has not once entered my mind. Like I'm gonna DM this guy and tell him
Yeah,
he
normal.
sucks.
I had some guy rip me on Twitter who blew up the picture we took with your friend. I said this the other day, and he saw that I was wearing Fila socks. Like, you couldn't even,
He got you.
if you, like, you couldn't even see they were Fila socks. Like, you had to have some sort of technical advancement to be able to
Weirdo.
extrapolate from that.
What a weirdo.
Who would do that? But that's social media. I don't care.
Serious though, Fila socks.
How dare you?
I'm surprised Fila's still around. They were very popular
They were.
in the mid 90s.
They were.
I think, did Grant Hill wear Fila's for a minute? Could be wrong.
I don't know.
I probably got them as a gift, and they're black socks, and so I wear them. I don't think that makes me a bad person.
He did.
Or what's that?
Sorry, Grant Hill did.
I
Wear.
think Grant Hill kind of put Fila back on the map in the mid 90s.
Cat, another stellar defensive series for DeYoung, reminiscent of the Wizard, the all-knowing expert. I feel
Yeah, he had a bad error, but the truth is he's been good defensively. Take
That
the whole body of
AstroTurf.
work. He's been good defensively.
the ball was
And
bounced.
they were making a big deal of his stats compared to some of the other guys that were free agents and everything. And yeah, they're similar in some ways. Overall, he's been fine at shortstop. You'd like to see him make a little bit more contact, but defensively he's been solid.
So, by the way, because Yachty was brought up, so I looked it up last year. Remember, he only played 78 games.
Yeah.
So 628 and a third innings caught. 9 defensive runs saved last year for Yadier Molina. So this year, if you combine Wilson Contreras and Andrew Kisner, they're about the same amount of innings as Yachty played last year. So Wilson Contreras is -4 defensive runs saved. Andrew Kisner's -1 defensive runs saved. So despite last year Yachty being essentially half of league average offensively, he was still really, really good defensively in the half of season that he played.
Okay.
And I'll still say, regardless of those numbers, the way he handles the staff is the most valuable thing that Yachty ever brought to the table. And there were, seasons where he hit 20 homers a couple times, right?
Yeah.
And he was good offensively and defensively. I still think handling a staff was his greatest attribute.
Listening to the cat be a rights holder is getting old. Just admit he's done and stop dancing around and making excuses. Nebraska Prairie Dog.
I didn't
What'd you say?
I didn't say he wasn't done. I said people have written him off a few times before, and he's bounced back. I think my exact words were, at this stage of your career and at this age, maybe there's no more gas in the tank. It's easy to be definitive with your statement and pretend you never said it 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's not good. He's been rough, and there's a lot of things you can point to, including Velo, his ability to spot that fastball. I get all of it, but I'm not saying he'll never pitch again.
Will he ever pitch well again? And I'm sure he'll have another good outing. I think it's a very relevant question. If you give Waino another start, because
Yeah.
then you can say literally, Here are the stats. Ollie, whoever. You guys pulled Steven Matz from the rotation after 10 starts with a 5.7. Adam Wainwright now has 10 starts. The next start will be his 10th. His ERA is going to be over 6. Why is he still in the rotation?
Why?
I would love to hear the answer. And I think, again, the fans aren't wrong. It does feel like at this point, okay, the season doesn't really matter anymore. Get him his 200 wins. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me. And I don't think this would happen if he wasn't a legacy player. And it gets back to my point of it's very hard to massage the decline of a legacy player. It's very difficult. It's hard to intertwine that with winning.
When I think of the DeWitts and John Mozeliak, I think of drunken sailors.
Oh, but that's the first drop.
That was me reading something.
Was that the first drop of the day?
So,
At least from me.
I'm focused on the speaking aspect.
I think it's a fair topic of discussion, but I do think
It's super fair.
if you're the Cardinals and a guy is a legacy player, for good or bad, you're probably going to give him a longer leash. That's not to say you let him finish with an ERA of 7, but based on the fact that he got a late start and he is Adam Wainwright, and yes, he's close to 200. You're probably going to give him a couple more starts.
The
And
late
also,
start
hey,
was also
Cardinals, just lie.
because he went to the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Oh, here's a positive text from Joe Boo. Speaking of the MLB top prospect pipeline, the fresh top of 100 prospect list dropped over the weekend, and only 2 Cardinals made the list. So the major league team sucks. Our prospect pipeline sucks. You guys suck. Everyone sucks. All kidding aside, looking at the top 100, there are so many Caribbean players, but the Cardinals really seem to lack in that department. Joe Boo.
Cardinals suck.
Hi, Cole.
Hi there.
I
here.
I recall when Cam first started doing radio, I told him that I enjoyed listening to him because he has a very smooth and fluid way of speaking. I have a difficult time listening to athletes who have a difficult time answering questions with. Cam, you still got it. Hockey Bob.
Is it more
Well,
insidious?
Thank you. Fluid
right.
speaker.
Praise from Hockey Bob.
I'm a
Dinduous?
disaster.
Is it more insidious?
Oh, God. Oh, we could do a whole hour about that.
I can't believe that Wayno got rid of his Twitter account.
No, just leave it alone. Now we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Especially after you double down. It's just Twitter's goofy, man. Especially when you're playing bad. You're better off you don't need to talk to the fans. It's just going to multiply negativity every time you have a start. Just don't look at it. Don't do anything to give anybody any fuel.
No, I think
boring.
I think you should do what your agent did with your Twitter account.
Oh, my God.
He should call out other players and say, hey, I'm coming after you tonight.
I'm going to whiz one by you, Temple.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, duck and cover when I'm on the mound.
That's right, man.
That's what he should do.
Or just start ripping all the fans and be like, screw all you. I hated you anyway.
Yeah, he should do the Javier Baez thumbs down to the fans whenever he does something good.
Oh, that's funny, man. I don't know. You just stay away from it,
But don't you feel like yesterday's win returned their mojo and that everything's going to be fine from here on out?
I don't, but it was a nice win. They needed it.
Yeah.
They needed that win, so I give them credit.
We were all texting at the first inning, though. Whoa, what's going on here? People without jobs find all kinds of fun ways to entertain themselves, cray. I call horse shite on Sharon. Ooh, Jackie boy.
By the way, people with jobs can also be nasty on social media,
Totally.
too. They might have a job where they have plenty of time in the cubicle to get on there and get after someone.
Yep.
It's hard to figure out who
Hone
those
in.
folks are.
Hone in on a couple guys. There's some crazy people out there with that. You see it on yours here and there. I see it with my DMs trying to get me back on heroin. Good God.
I had some guy say some nasty things
Yeah.
about one of my colleagues.
Yeah.
And so I just pointed out that he really should replace the wallpaper in his bathroom.
That's all you do, man.
It is weird that,
Yeah.
you can tell that's not an up-to-date Twitter user where they still have the picture that they took in their bathroom with the mirror there.
It's if you're going to start throwing bombs, you better have a nice profile pic.
I always try to be nice and do it in a fun way.
fun way.
I don't name call.
I know. I try to be nice, too. Until sometimes you're just go F yourself. I don't care. Get out of my face. Think it happened after I tweeted he hasn't been out. Oh, this is what happened. So Sharon's like, I think it happened after I tweeted at him that he hasn't been the ace for years. After that, I noticed I was blocked and held
So
to
that's
the no.
what it isn't. All right.
Held to the no. I'm not DMing Wayno.
Of
Give
course.
me a break.
If anybody actually thought that Adam Wainwright in the grocery store said, excuse me, what's your name and what's your Twitter handle? I'm going to block you right now.
But that's what Cam said.
I thought that's what
Come
the
on.
story was. Yeah, you're right. And this
Scroll through my
Doesn't
3 million followers.
I
He could
I forgot the
search
story.
Sharon, who follows him, couldn't he?
But Sharon, did you at him? Did you basically include him on purpose in the tweet?
He had to. She had.
Well, I'm asking.
Yeah.
Sharon, please respond.
He was an ace in 2021, by the way. He finished 7th in Cy Young.
Oh, look at this. Look at the stats on you. Was that
Sports
an ace?
guy.
I had to look at his stats after
Yeah,
everything
host
going on
today.
because I feel like but it's just everyone's a prisoner of the moment with this whole thing.
Cheap
Like how-
chokers. They're cheap chokers.
I disagree with that. But
But it's 9 starts, and it was his last 6 starts last year.
Yeah.
It's not, listen, everybody wrote off Wayno, including himself about 5-6 years ago. He thought he was done. I give him all the respect and credit in the world for what he did the last 3-4 years. But his last month last year was really bad, and his first 9 starts have been awful.
I agree.
It's not prisoner of the moment when everybody was going to give him 3-4 starts. It's 9 starts, and you pulled Matz after 10.
But someone that good for that long, and then they're not pitching well when they're 41, I don't think should get as much blowback as he's got. I think people need to be.
Well, you're trying to win.
little bit
The
more
goal,
understanding.
But the goal is to win games, get to the playoffs, advance. And the fans,
he's-
rightfully so, think that he is preventing them from doing that. And I don't blame
And
him.
he's making a lot of money.
Yeah, okay, but I still think that it's not like he's not trying. Like
Well,
he's
of
still
course,
trying to
I
do
can
well.
try.
I don't think
can
he's
go try.
trying.
Okay, well then people should go after the front office. Then they're the ones that
They
made
should.
the
They
deal.
have been.
Well, okay, then stick to that. They don't need to go after everybody.
Well, yeah,
I just think
you do go after everybody. You go after the front office. You go after Ollie. You go after the players. When you're this bad, everyone's to blame.
I don't think they're that bad. No, they're bad. It is what it is. And
I just think you got to look at the longevity of his career and say,
We
all right,
are.
let's not go after.
That's what I said. There's a reason why they're giving him a longer leash. That's why. Because he's a legacy player, because he's found a way to snap back before. But I do think it's certainly a legitimate line of criticism when you say, at 41, maybe this is the end of the road. I
Yeah.
think that's fair to at least ask that question. I just hate when people are going to rip a guy for not having it anymore. And who knows? Maybe his next start, not likely, but maybe he's able to go 6 and pitch well.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I would go to Wayno's Twitter account and just look at the comments.
For sure.
If it exists.
Like I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna look and see what's
If
going
you're
on.
him or if you're you.
No, if I'm me,
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna say, take a peek at this real quick,
I wouldn't have Twitter if I was a professional athlete. I wouldn't look at it.
dude. I went through hell on Twitter, man. Remember my thing happened in 2012.
Toronto.
I do. They wanted me dead. They wanted to kill my family. And I'm just like, dang, dude, I was in a hole, man. And not even with that, just like with other things too. And that happened, and no one was on your side. And you're like, ugh, God, it gets you,
But
dude.
it's just social media.
I know.
And now, granted, a lot of people look at it,
Yeah.
and if that bothers you, there's nothing you could do about it. But
Well, when it goes
it
from,
doesn't mean that someone's holding a gun to your head
No
or
doubt.
your house is about to explode.
they wanted that. But when it goes, because I never had an incident before that, Jimmy. So everything I posted was all positive. Everything, I remember looking at stuff, everybody's laughing, they're fun, I'm doing my thing, this, that. And maybe you get a couple chirps here and there if you didn't have a good game, but it's mostly positive. But then you do something stupid, and it blows up all over the place, including Sports Illustrated and stuff. And it blows up, and people want you dead. It was just hard to deal with for a while, man. It truly was. I didn't delete Twitter. I just got off. I just didn't look at it. But it's kind of hard because it's interesting on there, you know what I mean? But
Take a page from my old man. He would say, hey, that guy that came up and said you're great, if you put stock in that, then you better also put stock in the guy that comes up to you and says you're horrible.
what about put stock in the guy that says he wants to blow the house up with my
That's
family in
different.
there, you know?
Threats
Oh, yeah.
are a different
Threats, crazy stuff. The same people that, preached about being a good person are the ones threatening my life. It's just weird balance how that works.
I've seen
You're the good person, but yet you want to kill my family. Interesting.
I've seen someone would
Interesting.
do the name calling and stuff and say vicious things, and they're like a pastor.
I know.
That's
I
when you-
saw that too.
That's when you always go back and go, I'm surprised that that this would be coming from a pastor.
Was that with you, Jimmy, or was that somebody like Ben Shapiro or something tweet that?
I'm sure it's not.
It was a
It
pastor.
happened to me, but I'm sure it's happened to a lot of people.
That's funny, man. Let's see here.
And by the way, that's not a shot at all pastors.
You guys want to hear a phone call from Randy last year that makes him look like a genius now because he kind of predicted everything that's
Yes.
going on?
I like what you're doing, Cole. Go ahead.
I want to ask you guys a question there, Charlie Marmello. Next season, man, I mean, do you think the Cardinals are going to be contenders for the next couple of years with Goldie and, Ariando and, I don't know.
Why would you think the Cardinals haven't had a losing season under John Mozeliak?
Just play for the moment. I don't know what their plans are. I don't know if they plan 2 years ahead, 3 years ahead. I don't know. In the Central, I don't know. It's such a weak division. I don't know how they plan. Do they just plan based on what the other teams are going to do in that weak division, or the Central division is so weak there? I mean, Cincinnati could probably come out of next year, and if they have the right roster, they could probably beat the Cardinals.
I doubt that.
Thanks a lot, Charlie Marmello.
Wow! Damn good, Cole.
Look at that.
Whoa, whoa, Charlie.
Rights holder. Charlie the rights holder.
0 for 2, Charlie. Wow.
Well, let's wait till the end of the year.
Okay.
Nope,
very
we're
happy.
yelling about it now.
I'm very
job,
happy.
Cole.
Hey, I'm happy the Reds are good.
Dude, I watched them the other day, man. Man, oh, man. I like their unis, too. Look pretty sick. Fastest guy in the world's on that team, and he looks pretty fast. He is entertaining as hell.
I looked up his
dang.
minor league numbers. They were sick there, too. I mean, this is a guy who's got power, speed, and when he runs, he does look faster than other people.
He does.
I just don't think they have enough pitching to sustain it. They did get a burst of energy, but again, it's in the Central where mediocrity is never anything you have to apologize for.
So add. I hope they add.
Yeah. That was good.
They have good
Cole.
young pitching, so this is probably like their last average to subpar pitching staff season. They're going to be good after that.
Joey Votto back doing his thing, Get over the Yachty stats. 12 other catchers have won World Series since Yachty won one. The problems are at the top of this organization. Tommy Cali. What up, baby? 408. Where's that at? The 408. Is that Iowa? 408.
Let's find out.
Cam, were you upset when Lou went to Buffalo? What? When Lou went to Buffalo? Lou who?
Oh, San Jose.
San Jose.
We got some Earthquake fans listening
Oh,
to us.
yeah, baby.
after
They're
that.
due for one.
You know why? They wanted to hear about the game.
That's
They're rooting
right.
for it.
They want to hear about that game this
San
weekend.
Francisco's due for one. Just letting you know. Just letting you know.
For a quake?
For a quake.
Seems like you're
1908.
excited about that.
No. I'm just warning the people, Charlie Marlowe.
Well, they had one in 89.
89, too.
Maybe it's Joe Thornton
Every
texting
50
us.
years, every 60 years. They're due for one coming up here. Oh,
Have you marked your calendar?
Yeah.
You have a notification?
About 15 more years.
Sharon tracked
just like
down
Greta.
the tweet.
Greta Thunberg 5 years ago, a couple days ago, said the world's going to end. Top scientists.
Did it?
I think we're still here, but she deleted that tweet. But Twitter.
She's like Wayno.
Yeah, she is. She's
Wayno
like,
and
she
Greta
woke up.
Thunberg are very similar.
Well, she put a specific date on the world ending from top scientists on a tweet 5 years ago, and then she deleted it. She woke up that day, a couple days ago, like, well, we're still here. I'm going to delete this, Jimmy. My goodness, the ego stroking by the cast of Usual Suspects on the text line is pretty heavy today, local Matt.
What does that mean?
My goodness, the ego stroking by the cast.
Hockey Bob said nice things about you, but he's your friend.
I know. He says mean things about me,
fine.
too. Gino,
When? When does Hockey Bob say mean things about you?
Oh,
Gino does, for
Gino
sure.
does. Although he's been listening for 6 years,
he
every
told me-
gosh dang day.
Hockey Bob said that when he drives you around,
Yeah,
that you leave a sweat-stained butt print on his car. He said you have butt sweat.
I
he
do.
told me that.
I have everything sweat. I'm a gross human being. Kate kind of likes it, but I'm
She likes butt sweat?
she likes it
That's not a
sweaty.
thing.
Hell yeah!
All right.
Scroll through the top 100.
Why'd you just say all right?
Because we should probably go to break.
All right. Look at
Guy's
this.
taking over.
And,
Look at this.
and
Sports guy over here.
I didn't know where that story was going.
Well, it's
And I don't
think I'm
wanna
gonna get-
know.
It's really
I
not
don't
up to
wanna
you.
know.
I mean, look
No,
at
it's
this.
really not up to you.
I
Yeah.
mean, look at
Hey,
this.
Whoa.
Like, if I wanted to tell a sweaty story about Kate, like
You
I'm
just
gonna
said
do
all
it.
right.
Like I'm
Cam.
gonna.
At 7:50, that'd have been great.
No, it doesn't matter,
Right.
dude. It doesn't matter. He's gonna.
No, yeah, no, we got.
Her parents are listening too, and I still might do it.
Hey,
Back-
you got to let the
Am
story
I not allowed
go
to
where
talk
the story goes.
No
All
doubt.
right? We sometimes we might talk some nonsense.
You stopped it anyway.
That's
You
what-
stopped the story. You weren't going to.
That's where the flavor is, man.
Wait,
when we're just
no,
rocking
but
and rolling.
Seth feels empowered because he had a good first hour. Good for you. I'm proud of you. But that doesn't mean that you should interrupt Cam and say, all right, enough of that topic.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know.
Sharon's
a little weird.
Sharon tracked down her tweet that Waino caught her on.
Oh, yeah?
I bet she did.
She didn't. She said his name word for word, but she did not at him. So apparently Waino was searching his own name.
Yes, he was.
Here's what it is. Newsflash to Jim Edmonds. Adam Wainwright hasn't been the ace for about 3 to 4 years.
Burn.
So apparently Edmonds had a rights holder take earlier on in the season.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Was that the only tweet? Because I can't imagine him searching. He's Adam Wainwright. He's mentioned a lot. I just don't believe that either. Is there something that she added him where he might have seen it easier?
It's so funny.
She
man.
just says that he blocked her around the time of that tweet. So that's the one that she believes is that did it.
He's a blocker. He said
He's
that.
a blocker, isn't he? Yeah.
He'll go block.
Block him.
Block him.
Yep. It's like he thinks, hey, I sucked. Let me take to Twitter and see if peeps still love me. Good Lord, grow up. If a pro athlete doesn't realize it's all about what you've done for me right now, then they should get a different job. Sharon.
Now, I will say, the tweet she sent in was from April 3rd, which is when he was not playing. Because he was on the injured list.
Oh, okay.
So
but he got a whiff of that, and he saw it, and he blocked her.
So he must have been really bored that day.
Wow.
Well, he was injured. He had nothing to do.
Nothing to do
you
but
know
look
what?
at Twitter.